Hello, welcome to all students on this session. In this session, we have to talk again uh, types of water pollution. And this will be a chapter of the environmental microbiology and the public health as well as environmental biotechnology. And we know very well that water is a major constituent of our this environment, and water have major role on dissemination and spreading of microorganisms from one place to another. And water is the major source that is responsible to transfer the microorganisms from environment to living organisms, especially to human beings. And it has been estimated that almost 80% of the disease and their causing agent is spread due to the use of the water. And we know very well that water is on surface, and on surface of this globe there are many living organisms which are responsible to affect the quality of the water. Whenever water is coming from sky in form of rain or snow, it is pure. It have nothing. It is only the water H2O. When it is coming on surface of the earth, there are many things which are responsible to affect the quality of this water. So in this session, we have to talk about water quality and it is water contamination and its types. So, types of water pollution. So, what is the water pollution? We will start from here. What is water pollution? Okay, any physical or chemical change in water that adversely affect the health of human and other organisms. Anything in water except water molecules, either that is soil, that is sand, that is chemical, that is biological material, anything except water molecules, that is called water pollution. So we can see here any physical or chemical change in water that adversely affect the health of human and other organisms. So varies in magnitude by location. If you will see on globe, the pollution of water, it changes wherever load of the living organism is very high and anthropogenic activities are very high. The magnitude of water contamination is very high in those regions. And where the anthropogenic activities and activities of other animals is low, their magnitude of water contamination or water pollution is very low. Major water pollution issues globally, lack of disease water. The major issue is this: on this globe, there is no water which is free from disease. So if you will see here, major water pollution issue globally is lack of disease water. And the people are estimating, the scientists, they are estimating that almost 70% population on this globe have lacked the access to the fresh water. In developed countries, countries are managing uh, pure water for their population, but underdeveloping countries and non-developing countries, still they are facing this issue to get access to the fresh water and healthy water. There are 8 categories of uh, water pollution, if you will see on globe. Number one, contamination is caused by sewage water. Number two, disease causing agents such as microorganisms. Sediment pollution, the underlying substances. The sediments which are present on ground of the water. And another is inorganic plant and algal nutrients. Organic compounds, inorganic chemicals, radioactive substances, and thermal pollution. These are the 8 different groups of the major pollutants which are responsible to contaminate the water on surface. If any of these things is present in water, that water is unable to drink, that water is unable to use. So whenever any of these things which we have are discussing here is present, the quality of the water is going to be compromised on the so we will discuss all of these things in detail, how they are contaminating the water on Earth. So number one is sewage. The release of wastewater from drains or sewers includes human waste, soaps, and detergents, causes two serious environmental problems. The things, the water which is coming out from homes, if we are not disposing and not treating properly, that is mixing with water that contains many things, human waste, soaps, and detergents, and this sewage water is causing two serious environmental problems on globe. Number one, enrichment. Number one, this increases the fertilization of body of water by high level of plant and algal nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus. Because the wastewater which is coming out from homes, from agriculture, that carries the huge amount of nitrogenous compounds and phosphorus. So whenever this water is going into the bodies of the fresh water, it increases nutrient concentration over there that leads the enrichment of that water body where excessive growth of living organisms takes place, and consequently the taste, odor, smell, and the potability of that water is going to be compromised. Now that is not safe for human and animal consumption. Number two, what happens when wastewater is going into the body, freshwater bodies? The concentration of nutrients increases over there. That consequently leads the excessive growth of the living molecules, the living organism, plants, and microorganisms over there. So what happens? Increases in biological oxygen demand, increases the BOD in that water. The demand of oxygen increases in that water. Amount of oxygen needed by microorganisms to decompose the biological waste is increased. As BOD increases, dissolved oxygen decreases. So what happens? Consequent due to these two things, increase of the biological oxygen demand, decrease of the dissolved oxygen, and due to the excess growth of the plants and microorganisms, they need more oxygen to decompose the available organic and inorganic materials over there. Due to this, the deficiency of oxygen takes place over there. Falling smell comes is coming out from there, and life cannot sustain our there more. Due to that, more organic matter, more dead material, the color and the taste of the water is going to change. Due to that, what happens? On surface, there will be a layer of the green vegetation that penetrates that stops the penetration of sunlight, as well as that stops the penetration of oxygen into water bodies. Due to these two things, the life which is living inside of the water that will die, and there will be no chance of the survival of the living organism. Only anaerobic microorganisms they will grow over there. So this is a huge problem, huge two problems of the wastewater which are going into uh, freshwater bodies. So in this graph, we can see over here, this is a picture has been taken from environmental science to Valley Johnson. Whenever we are adding any sewage water into the freshwater body, the biological oxygen demand of that water increases at the time of the addition of the wastewater into the fresh water. And at the same time, concentration of the dissolved oxygen is going to reduce. So what happens when concentration of dissolved oxygen reduces over there, that kills the fish and other living organisms over there. So with passage of time and distance from the source of pollution, gradually water tries to recover its original state by using microorganisms and other plants and environmental oxygen that increases the concentration of dissolved oxygen, and drying by decomposition of the organic material to reduce the biological oxygen demand. You will see if at 0 point there was pollution has been added into the fresh water at 1 to 5 kilometer from that point, 125 kilometer, that has been reduced. After 100 kilometer, it has BOD has been reduced. Demand of oxygen has been reduced, and the concentration of dissolved oxygen is again towards its original point. If so, we should be sure if there is no continuous addition of pollutant in water, in fresh water, that water bodies have potential to recover its original status. So, first we have to care about this to dispose the sewage water without treatment to the freshwater bodies. Secondly, continuous addition we have to stop at any way, because water bodies have potential to recover itself. If you will see the water in original state, this is a picture my friend have taken in northern areas, Gilgit. You can see this is the pure form of water with after just precipitation. Okay, there is no contamination. It is only H2O. No heavy metal, no sediment, no organic material, no chemical compounds, no inorganic material. You can see over here. This is the river. uh, it is almost origin of from the origins of the Indus River. This is water, okay, and this is snow in January and February. It is almost 15 to 20 feet snow, and people they are living in such homes over there. The water, and actually I want to say in this picture, the water which is present in its natural state, it is free from contamination. There is no contamination. It is pure water. But from here, anthropogenic activities are going to be started by human beings. They will come out. They will add some contamination in water. In this water, their animals will come and they will add some contamination. And birds will go over there. They will add some contamination. But the contribution of the contribution of contamination by these guys over here is very less. Whenever this snow, this ice is going to melt and it is going to be converted into the water, what it does, it carries all soils and sediments which are present on surface of the earth. That whatever sediments and the soil, the organic material, inorganic material, and the chemicals are present on surface of the water, on the earth during melting, these all will be a part of this water and they will go to this river. So just after we have taken another picture, when this is going to, it is downstream in summer after melting, it carries various type of pollutants over here. You can see the color of the water completely has been changed due to addition of the soil, silt, sand, organic material, chemicals from sediments, and the remaining and excreta of human, animal, and bird from these surfaces that comes towards the water. Now, demand of biological oxygen demand in this water has been increased, and the concentration of the dissolved oxygen has been reduced, and it is going on continue towards it is downstream. If you will see this thing over here near to the Arabian Ocean, Karachi, Arabian Ocean, you can say the color of this water is unbearable. It is dark. It contains a huge amount of mud, organic material, inorganic material, sedimentous, and it is not potable now due to the huge addition of the contaminant. If you will see on the banks of this river, this carries such type of pollutants which has been contributed to these water bodies by human anthropogenic activity. So water quality badly affects. So from these two slides, if you will see here, the water which was has been managed by the nature, that was crystal clear. You can see in first slide, please. The water which has been managed by nature, it is clear and crystal. It is blessing of nature that has been produced in clear form for human and living organisms. But due to environmental activities, due to human activities, the concentration, the condition of water is going to be worse. The quality of water is going to be worse. That becomes not potable. That increases concentration of the various pollutants in its body. Now no one can drink it. So, secondly, due to the addition of these things, due to addition of these things, organic, inorganic pollutants, chemicals, sediments, and other human activities, various type of microorganisms that are going that are coming into the water. So, infectious agents that cause disease originates in the waste of the infected individual when human excreta or human waste is going into the water bodies that carries different type of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other pathogens into water body. Common bacterial and viral disease, and if such water has been consumed by the individual, they will suffer into the typhoid, cholera, bacterial dysentery, polio, and infectious pollutants. So when water quality is going to be worse due to human and animal activities, that is, those are adding pollutants and infectious microorganisms in water bodies. Those are causing various type of disease in humans. Some other disease also has been enlisted over here, and disease is cholera, which is going to be caused by Vibrio cholerae. Dysentery is caused by Shigella dysentery, enteritis, Clostridium perfringens, and other bacteria. Typhoid by Salmonella typhi. Infectious hepatitis, hepatitis virus A. Poliomyelitis or polio by poliovirus. Cryptosporidiosis, Cryptosporidium species, amoebic dysentery, and amoeba histolytica, and schistosomiasis, schistosoma species, and encyclostomiasis, encyclostoma species. So we want to say over here in this slide that these all microorganisms are coming in water due to the animal and the human waste. And when such water which contains these type of microorganisms will be used, any healthy individual, they can be suffer in such disease which has been enlisted over here. Those will be suffer in this disease due to the contaminated water. So we can assume from here how much water quality is very important. If water is free from all type of contaminants, the consumers they will lead a healthy life. When the consumers will use quality compromised or polluted water, they will suffer in various health problems. Typhoid, cholera, bacterial dysentery, this, and these microorganisms will come in that water due to human and animal activities, and they will cause these all disease. So what will be when the people, when public will use, a whole city will use such water which contains all these type of microorganisms over there? What will happen? All public will suffer into disease. They will go towards hospital. That will increase burden on hospital, economical burden, medical burden, and medicine burden, and they will compromise their duties. So various issues and problems can be raised due to use of the quality compromised water. So disease-causing agents may be monitored by testing for presence of E. coli in the water via a fecal coliform test. Indicates the presence of pathogenic microorganisms. So here we want to check that how we can ensure the water quality. Okay, we are checking one thing in water. If fecal contamination is there in water, that water is not good for drinking. If water contains no fecal contamination, that water is good for drinking. So just we are checking E. coli, which is normal flora of warm-blooded animals' intestine. If there is fecal E. coli is present, it indicates that water has been contaminated due to animal or human feces. Now it is not fit for consumption. If there is no fecal E. coli, then we can say that water quality is usable, it is potable. And if E. coli is present, maybe other all pathogens may present over there, which has been released by any individual patient in that environment. So what we are doing for that? We are doing to check the water quality filter membrane technique we are using for that. We are filtering water through this filter membrane. After this, we are putting this filter membrane on EMB, eosine methylene blue agar. We are incubating at 37 degrees C for 24 to 48 hours. And after 24 hours, we are getting the growth of the uh, bacteria over there, because EMB is selective and differential for only E. coli. It allows to grow the E. coli. It not allows the other enteric microorganisms. And the color of the E. coli, fecal E. coli, if they will grow over there, green metallic sheen will appear that will indicate that this microorganism is E. coli from animal or human feces. So the quality is worse. So water cannot be used because the water body has been contaminated from the animal or human feces. If there is no fecal E. coli in water, that water can be used easily because there is no chance of the disease. So we have to take up to this, uh, and in our next lecture, we will continue from here. So what we have studied over there, we have studied one thing, that types of water pollutants, if there is anything else except water molecule, that water is contaminated. How water contaminates? Because when nature recycles the water from this planet, that becomes pure, crystal and clear on surface of the earth. During melting, uh, surface organic and inorganic molecules and compounds are coming with that water, and the quality is going to be compromised. At the same time, other human and animal activities and their anthropogenic activities, they release various type of pollutants from bodies, especially bacteria, viruses, fungi. They are coming a part of the water body with passage of time. With it is down towards towards it is downstream that carries all these pollutants, bacteria and viruses, that is causing health issues, that is raising health issues, and various type of disease has been discussed in detail. That when water is contaminated from animal and human feces, animal and human waste, that is adding various type of pathogenic bacteria in water, various pathogenic bacteria, fungi, and viruses in water. When such water is consumed by healthy humans, those are also suffering in disease, in various type of disease, which has been discussed in detail. Okay, so how we can check the water quality? For checking the water quality, just we are monitoring the fecal E. coli in water. If there is fecal E. coli in water, that water is not suitable for drinking. If there is no fecal E. coli, that water is suitable for consumption for human use. So, how we are checking this water quality? Just we are using the filter membrane filter technique, and we are removing the membrane by which we have filtered the water, that is placed on EMB agar, eosine methylene blue agar, and we are incubating it for 24 to 42 hours, and sometimes for 72 hours. After incubation, we are examining the media. If there is grain metallic sheen, that indicates the presence of the fecal E. coli, fecal coliform. It means that water quality is compromised, that contains fecal coliform. Now it is not potable. We have to stop it by any means. Okay, if there is no fecal E. coli, that water is usable, that water is potable, can be used without any problem. So you have to read this book from Prescott. You can go on the environmental microbiology book, or in which different type of environment. In every microbiology basic book, this content is present in detail, as I have preferred, as I have given the name of different books which are present in our library, as well as we have provided the soft copies of those books and distributed among the students. Thank you. Have a nice time, and see you in next lecture. Wish you good luck.